I used to, just as I once believed in the existence of Santa Claus, and for the same reason, because my parents told me they were real. Why would my parents lie? I don't blame them for lying, of course, they were lied to by their parents too, and them by theirs. I in turn lied to my children about Santa, but I drew the line at God's. Why? Because Santa is harmless fun. Believing in him brings a little magic and joy into the world at the time of year when the world, where I live, is at its darkest and coldest. His message is one of coming together and sharing in each other's love, gifts, and happiness. The messages of the gods are, for the majority, divisive and filled with negativity. Why do I no longer believe? I no longer believe that gods exist because I have seen no evidence of their existence. Even the arguments that people believe are good arguments for God's existence are poor. For example, the watchmaker analogy fails because when you find a watch in the middle of a natural setting and can infer that it has been designed, you are clearly comparing it to your surroundings, which must not look designed because the watch clearly looked out of place in the setting. For example, the information in DNA theory is an argument for either a terrible cosmic computer programmer or simply more evidence of evolution at work. I choose the latter as there is supplementary evidence of evolution and, let's be honest, who would want to hope for the existence of an incompetent God? For example, the fine-tuning argument works better as an argument for a world without gods. Why else would a universe need to be so precise? Surely if gods existed, the universe could look any way they wanted. How convenient that the universe looks exactly how it would need to look if gods didn't exist, and yet people use that as evidence for the existence of their god of choice. Mind-boggling. For example, the changing morality throughout humanity's time and location on this planet has shown that there can be no ultimate moral beings imparting their morality upon the populace. The Bible condones slavery and promotes women as being inferior to men. We know both of these things are morally wrong. Does that make us superior in morality to the God described within those pages? Of course. Ultimately, there are no good arguments for the existence of gods, and so I don't believe that they exist. People generally then ask me, but what if you are wrong? And my answer is always the same. I'm not convinced that I am wrong, but if I am. When I was a child and discovered that Santa probably didn't exist, I asked myself the same question: what if I'm wrong? I couldn't make myself believe. I couldn't pretend I believed and not be found out by Santa's magical powers. That first Christmas was a traumatic event for me. Turns out though, on Christmas morning, I got the same result as I had gotten every previous year of believing: lots of cool presents. And I figured that's because, if Santa does exist, he still rewards the good kids whether they believe in him or not. So, my question back to you is your God of choice nicer or naughtier than Santa Claus? I do not interpret GD's existence, but I believe my faith allows me to describe the divine existence and how I come to comprehend it. Human beings are unique sentient beings, among all of the creatures that we observe on the planet Earth. They not only are conscious of all the things that they see, hear, taste, smell and touch, but there are other perceptions, too numerous to mention, that connect us with other humans, animals, and the spirit beings that inhabit our solar system. I am not quite sure about living organisms outside our system, since we have not heard much from them. GD is the invisible force that flows throughout the universe, and we happen to be conscious of these particles of light, and maybe even matter, that penetrate our bodies, minds and hearts, and leave awesome messages there. The very closest we have come to date to the reality of this divine presence is the quantum level of existence, that micro-world composed of light and infinitesimally small particles of energy. They are the only particles capable of traveling at the speed of light, and can be on both sides of the planet at the same time. GD has always been depicted in animal or human form, so that we might establish a relationship with what the form represents to us. That light is everywhere at the same instant describes for us GD's omnipresence. And by being everywhere, GD knows everything there is to know, describing GD's omniscience. Since I was a child of 8 years old, I have had numerous paranormal events happen to me, and this has helped me to understand the extraordinary nature of GD's presence in the world. I have prayed countless times, and have enjoyed an adventurous and healthy life because of my faith. It is pointless to provide proof or evidence for the belief in GD, since it is a personal event that is unique to the individual believer.